Good Thursday to you. I'm Storm Team 9 Meteorologist Patrick Ellis here with your ENC Weather Update. This is the Thursday edition. We're looking at March the 13th, 2014. Beautiful day, but it was downright cold across Eastern Carolina. Cold night tonight setting up for us, but looking ahead, we do get a couple of strides upward as we head towards Friday and Saturday, but the weekend may end on a soggy note, and we're still looking at the St. Patrick's Day system that could bring us some interesting doings by the time we head in towards the first portion of the week, and then we do start to warm up a little bit by the time we head into the latter half of the forecast period. All those details here in the ENC Weather Update video. Alright, we're doing this update about 7 o'clock this evening. Already 41 Greenville, 40 in Washington, 44 New Bern, 45 the current number in Jacksonville. Latest updates coming in as we speak. 39 Swan Quarter and 44 right now in Kenansville, as well as Morehead City. We do have a freeze warning that is currently in effect for the Outer Banks portion of Dare County. I do believe that actually the Inner Banks portion, the mainland side of Dare County, may also be involved in that, but needless to say, the cold temperatures are on the way as they're starting their growing season out there along the Outer Banks. Here's a look at the precision forecast model, and I don't think this thing is doing the justice on the colder temperatures tonight. I think we're in the 20s across much of deep inland eastern North Carolina. Coastal areas maybe a touch warmer, but not by very much. Afternoon temperatures tomorrow should be in the mid to upper 50s, nearing 60 for some, with mainly sunny skies. Can't complain about that. The winds may be picking up as we head into the afternoon hours. This is our forecast for tonight. 25 inland, low to mid 20s. I think some of the cooler pockets may drop to about 22, 23 tonight, and that's going to be close to those record low temperatures. Coastal areas, upper 20s to near 30, maybe 31, right along the immediate coast. But like I said, nearing record low temperatures with light northwesterly wind. It's 56 tomorrow, and that's going to be here in town. I think maybe 57 may be about how we can do it for tomorrow. But I will say that with a little bit of a southwesterly wind picking up in the afternoon hours, that may be able to boost the temperatures up a couple more degrees later in the day. So we're going to kind of range it 54 to 58. Coastal areas will stay a touch cooler, 52 to 55. And like I said, the wind's going to pick up during the latter half of the day. The lifestyle forecast, we have it in the yellow category, mainly for the fact that it's going to be cold to start tomorrow morning. But it's going to be a mild afternoon, so if you are heading out to the bus stop, it will be a little chilly, but by the time you go home, it should be fine. Same thing for running. I think better chances to go out running maybe into the afternoon hours. Yard work, wet spots still out there from the rain from last night, and sounds a moderate chop tomorrow across Eastern Carolina. Pollen forecast still in the green category for mold and grass, but the tree has been the main culprit the last couple of days. Likely will stay that way. Cedar, elm, and maple have been the main culprits and will stay in the medium to high category the next few days. The precision forecast model will take you into this weekend, and once again, we'll make the mention for maybe a shower early on Saturday as a little weak disturbance pushes through. And starting off with some clouds, but sunshine's back in by the afternoon hours. Look at that, nearing 70. For a high temperature that afternoon. Next frontal boundary drops in on Sunday, and this is our St. Patrick's Day system starting to get going back over here towards the west. And I think by the afternoon hours, we're already starting to see some showers in here. This is a little delayed here, but look at how the cold air wrapping around on the back side of that thing. And we've been talking about this the last couple of days and how this all will come together. Look at that. It's got snows all the way down to Mississippi, all the way to Jackson, and maybe some strong storms here. We'll watch that, but I'm not necessarily convinced just yet on the temperature profiles here across Eastern Carolina to start off this event. Now, the wraparound effect, that's going to be another thing, so we're just going to be watching the trends the next 2-3 days, try to figure that out. But, man, this may be another roundabout here that we're dealing with. Here's a look at the 500 millibar chart valid for tomorrow at 2 p.m. And this is our system that we've been tracking the last couple of days. It's going to be coming through the Four Corners region. But another thing that we're watching, and you'll see this here, and when I fast forward this, there's going to be a little boundary that's kind of set up here, up towards the north. And that's going to be your Arctic high pressure system that develops. And that's going to be your injection of cold air on the back side of this. In this flow pattern, obviously, this system is going to be moving off towards the east, but on the back side of that, we're going to have some cold air wrapping around as we head towards the weekend. Now, this is Friday, so westerly wind, that's going to make us nice and dry here across Eastern Carolina. Surface high pressure in control, so we should be able to afford the low and mid to upper 50s that afternoon as the 540 line makes its retreat northward. Now, to start the day, it's going to be cold, and you see that 540 line just kind of hanging around just on the northeast side of the state, but then it gets out of here through the afternoon hours as warm air advection really takes hold as the high pressure builds off towards the east, and you get that southwesterly flow in here. So that's why we're talking about the winds picking up in the afternoon hours of tomorrow. We said stay dry for the most part on Wednesday, on Saturday rather, but like I said, making that mention for maybe a shower or two with a little energy coming off of this system. And you see that here, a little energy coming off over here towards the east off of this system that's going to be the St. Patrick's Day system. But look what's going on here. Get another area of disturbed weather coming through Montana, and all this is going to hook up, basically. And this is the first time the GFS has really painted this since we've been talking about it since a couple of days ago. But like I was talking about, there's your Arctic high developing here, and all that cold air is just kind of sitting up here, and it's going to be coming southward, but just for a brief while. Now that's the look on Sunday, and like I said, that Arctic high is in place up here towards the north. 1035 high right here, and all that cold air is trying to come southward on the backside of that, the 540 line well into Oklahoma and edging into portions, the panhandle of Texas. Low pressure developing over the Tennessee River Valley, and a lot of rain showers associated with that. I mean, this is going to be a soaker no matter which way you look at it. And like I said, this is the first time the GFS picked up on this. The European backed off on this idea during his morning run, and the afternoon run brought it back. I think the only system that has really kept up on this is the Canadian. And I'll show you that here in a couple of minutes. In a minute or so to show you what that's looking like. But looking at the upper air chart, you got the big ridge developing over the western half of the United States. Big cold air just kind of lingering around up here, and there's your boundary of the much colder air just kind of hanging out there. And all that energy that was back over here in the Montana has now consolidated into this one system across the central United States, and that's got the surface low here across the Tennessee River Valley. And all that's got to shoot off towards the east. Now let's look at the Canadian model. It has the same general idea as far as the surface low placement somewhere around the Tennessee River Valley. It's got a secondary low developing down here towards the south, and the cold air is further off towards the north. Notice that, the 540 line up into Kansas, rather than the GFS's, which is further south now, but it still has a big injection of cold air just kind of waiting up here in the Canadian provinces. Now that's a look at the European model, and it's a little closer to the GFS's thinking, but it's got the low further off towards the to the west, over in the north central Mississippi, but it's got the 540 line coming down into North Texas at that point, and the rain showers getting shot out across our neck of the woods by that point. But the Europeans a little slower now as far as the rain chances, the heavier rain chances in here, likely be about 6 hours removed from what the GFS is printing. Now I still think that we'll make it to near 60 that afternoon. Now some of the models get it even higher than that. I'm not necessarily convinced on that just yet, so we'll make the necessary adjustments. But needless to say, there is a little bit of uncertainty still in this forecast, what could happen. And like I said, that 540 line's coming south. And just depending on how far south is the big story. That's Monday afternoon. And now you see kind of this split thing going on. It lags behind some energy back over into South Alabama. And the first portion of the energy comes pulling up towards the north past us. But a nice little stripe of moisture coming right out of the Gulf of Mexico, right across our neck of the woods. That would indicate rainfall amounts in 6 hours of about half an inch, if not an inch, in that 6 hour period. But like I said, you've got this secondary low that develops back over into Alabama. That's the first time that we've seen that. Now the European's similar on that, but it keeps all the cold air bottled up to the north. And you can kind of see what the GFS was printing. It's got the 540 line lingering back up towards the north, but look at all that cold air just kind of back on the backside, the 546 line on the backside of that low. And then the Canadian's a little bit more progressive and starts to get everything out of here. But you see that 540 line just kind of lingering back off there towards the north. Now that's a look at the GFS. That would be early on Tuesday morning. It's got a nice little coastal low and a wedge set up. And underneath that, that could potentially have some wintry mischief in there. We've been kind of hinting at that the last couple of days. Now, that's just one model run, and this is the first time that we've seen that on this model, and that's the European looking at the same time period. We'll take it out there, and it's got the low further down to the south, but same type of scenario, a little bit of a wedge set up there on Tuesday, and same thing on the thickness values, but the low is a little slower to get out and takes a further south track than the GFS wants it to by the time we head towards Wednesday. And like I said, that's going to be one of those things that we're just going to be watching. You see that the low on the GFS is further off towards the north, and doesn't kind of retrograde back down to the south. So I'm not necessarily ready to make that call just yet for this Monday deal. As far as wintry weather is concerned, but the potential is there. You got the cold air coming around on the backside of that, a lot of moisture in place, just something to watch, and just some mischief out there. But then we talk about Tuesday, it could linger around some more, but I think we still make it back into the 50s, 60s by Wednesday, and then same thing on Thursday. We're going to be watching another system coming across the pipeline on Thursday, it looks like, but the GFS is a little quicker on that than the Canadian and the European are showing. That's going to do it for me here on the ENC Weather Update. You can stay up to date with us Facebook, Twitter, WNCT.com, and a brand new Storm Team 9 app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Have a great rest of your evening, great day tomorrow, and a great weather week ahead.